Greetings, beloved brothers and sisters. In the attempt to grasp the truth from a limited perspective, it can be very challenging. What has been very helpful is the use of metaphor and analogy so that at least a relationship can be seen that could be applied on other levels. And in this way, one can be familiarized with the truth to the level that they can understand. This dear one had an experience for about 10 years where his parents were able to buy a house on a river with a lot of waterfront and a pier, and eventually they got several boats. And he was lucky enough to have his summers off, and he could spend his summers on the river. During that time, he was in charge of showing people how to water ski. And he got pretty good at water skiing himself, but in teaching other people, there were just a few rules. One was, don't try to pull yourself up. Just let the boat pull you up. Let the force of the water rushing at you pull you up. Keep your arms straight. Don't muscle yourself up. And also, keep your knees bent and use them like shock absorbers. Just let them flex. And he tried to prepare them for this rush of water that would come at them that would make it feel like they were going to pull their arms off. But that was very short-lived. And soon, people would find themselves on the surface of the water with very little resistance. And it was a glorious experience if you could get through the first part. At one time, he remembered thinking, as he was water skiing, what is actually holding me up? This doesn't really make sense. I can't point to any droplet of water that is supporting my weight at the moment. And when the boat isn't pulling me, I would sink like a stone. So there's nothing hard about the surface of the water. And yet, with the movement of the water, there was a solidity. There was something you could actually stand on. But he kept wondering, what am I standing on? And the answer was, you're standing on the movement of the water. It's the flow that is keeping you going, that is sustaining you. And this always stayed with him, that it's kind of a metaphor for life, that it's the flow of life that sustains you, not any particular moment, not any particular thing. It's just allowing yourself to be pulled along by the flow and just enjoy what a miracle that is. His parents also were nice enough to buy a sailboat, and he taught many people how to sail. And the same situation presented itself. People would often be frightened when big gust of wind would come up and the boat would keel over a little bit. And he would once again assure them, no, it's not what you think. We are being pulled forward by the flow of movement through the two sails in the front. It's actually pulling us. And we are safer in this movement than we are if we slow down. As a matter of fact, if the wind disappeared, and we just sat here, we wouldn't be safe at all. We'd be subject to the rocks and the current, and we could be easily thrown into something. The rudder would have no control. It's only the movement. It's only the forward movement, the flow, that allows any control of the sailboat at all. So this is not something to be feared. It's something to be allowed and enjoyed. Right now, there's a tendency, it's so ironic, there's a tendency to want to hold on to things. And a lot of that comes from fear. When people are afraid, they run to the store and buy up all the toilet paper and all the water and all the milk. But what is called for now is for you to be in the flow, to have enough for yourself, but also have enough for others, so that what you have can flow to your friends and neighbors. And if you allow for the flow of life through you, ironically, it happens more the more still you are, the more relaxed and still you are, the more you can feel the flow. You would think that it would be just the opposite, but it's not. And as the flow moves through you, and you identify less with one particular thing or one particular soul that you are, and more with the flow of energy, you will feel safer and more in control of your life than ever before. You will ride this beautiful divine energy and share it with everyone, and thus ensure your safety and everyone else's. It requires that you not tense up and not give in to fear, but rather be still and tune into the flow. The flow is love. And it's love for you and love for everyone. And within that flow, you'll have a lot of freedom, freedom of movement, freedom of creativity. Just to feel the blessing of the movement of life requires a certain willingness on your part to trust, be still, and then go with the flow. I love you very much, and I will speak with you again soon.